Hello. I just decided to jump on a little bit early because you never can tell with, TikTok or with whatever if everything's going to work out. So I was like, might as well jump on a little bit early and make sure everything is working a-okay. So that's why I was like, rather be on early than like be on it like, hello, Lion. How are you? Hi, Tiny. Let me make sure that Tiny, can you comment please so I can make sure just anything so I can make sure that you're a mod? Yes, Lion. Yes, yes, yes. So am I. I've been looking forward to this all week. Um, yeah, agree. There we go, Tiny. Thank you. Let me just make sure that you are a mod. Okay, you're a mod now, Tiny. Thank you. Hi, Sky. Hi, Am. Hello, everyone. Just working DoorDash, about to be home. Hi, Steph. I have heard both good and bad things about DoorDash. So I'm like, I've heard that it's kind of like if you work there, it's good. And if you guys, can you guys do me a favor and like this so we can, more, it says encourage more viewers to share and to like. So if you guys could do that, that would be fantastic. Hey, Christina. Hi, Sophia. So yeah, it should be a very good discussion tonight, hopefully. Yes, and if you're not following me, please give me a follow. I always love it. I was going to show you guys this cute little sweater shirt. How? Thanksgiving. I mean, can you even? How cute is that? And you, like, literally will not believe how much I paid for it. You won't. Hi, AC. I paid, I think, $8 for it on, hi, Carrie. I paid $8 for it on Shein. I know, isn't it so cute, Sophia? And it says Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you for the love, Lion. I was like, this is the cutest thing ever. I was like, hey, Rach. Yeah, so, yeah, I was like, this is so cute. Hopefully, thanks, guys. Getting ready for the big interview. Yeah, it's so cute, right, AC? Hello, Jen. I know I saw it on Shein, and I know, like, some people are really anti-Shein, but... Oh, thank you, Veronica. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Yeah, so, I just was like, we'll get on a little bit early, but it's actually 8 o'clock right now, so hopefully they'll be jumping on. Hello, Nicole. Hey, Cody. Hi, Sophia. I like Shein. Some people don't like it. I like it. Low-key scared. Yeah, I like it. I mean, this, like I said, this was from there, and it was like $8, and it's super cute, I think. Hey, Jill. Yeah, I think it's cute. I like it. So hello, Alicia. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. We'll see what happens with this live. I've asked, like, I could not have promoted it anymore, I don't think. I don't know. We'll see, We'll see what happens. I'm, like, putting my old reporter hat on, and I'm going to get to it if people show up. We'll see. Hello, Voodoo Queen. Yeah, I like doing this. Like, I like putting my old reporter hat on and, pretending I'm a reporter again. So, I have ordered from Temu as well, Lion. Oh, thank you for the love. Yes, Kat, exactly. I know Cody's like Aaron's #1 fan, you guys. So, yes, Cody loves Aaron. I have ordered from Temu, and I think I like Shein better. I think, Sassy, can you comment so I can make you a mod? I just want to make sure all my mods are all set, which they are so far. Yes, exactly, Lion. Cody is like diehard Aaron fan. Met Aaron, I think, in 2017, Cody? Is that when you met Aaron? Oh, is Life of Bella and Zelda in here? I didn't even see them. I have not seen them. If you're in here, Life of Bella, I did, sister. You're a mod. You're a mod, sister. Oh, hey, Life of Bella. You can you request to be a guest, please? You just go to the bottom where it says get. Let me see if I can invite you. Oh, I just invited you actually, which should be Not yet, sister. You won't until there's something to do. Hello, Jennifer.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Nice to see you.
You as well. You as well. Yeah, thanks for joining us. So I know that just recently we've been talking about. Well, let me just real quickly, I'll do an introduction for those of you who don't know me. I am Cindy, 716 girl, hi Greta, in ATL. And I used to be a reporter for CBS for 6 years. So very used to asking the questions. You know, people used to ask me all the time, like, who were you the most nervous, like, interviewing or talking to when you were a reporter? And I'm like, I've interviewed a lot of people. I've interviewed presidents. I've interviewed, Keith Urban, all the big stars, all the people. And I was the most nervous, and I wasn't even interviewing this person. I just met her meeting, and all my Bills Mafia will know who this is. Josh Allen's mom. I like met her, and I was like, oh, that's our quarterback for people who don't know. I became like tongue tied. So that's who I was the most nervous over, meeting Josh Allen's mom. It's kind of crazy. So
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking. So props to you for doing that. And I appreciate you reaching out. And Tracy had recommended me to you.
yes,
So
thank you,
I was like
Tracy.
super excited. I just feel like he's not talked about enough. And the way that it was left, you know, with the investigation and everything, like we're just not happy with it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that we
so
need to, Jennifer, really quickly, we'll get into it in a little bit. And we had been teasing forever that Melanie was going to join us, but thank you, Greta. I got it on Sheen. We don't think that she's going to be able to join us, or?
I just did message her. I know that she is live right now,
Yeah,
like packing orders.
yeah,
I tried on several occasions, and I understand where she's coming from because she has to be very careful of what she does say, because a lot of people will record her, and that could be held against her with a few things that she has working on right now.
Mhm.
So,
Okay. So, and I understand that too. I think it's a little bit of a disappointment because I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, is having her on, asking her questions as well. But we'll get to it. And so I'm just going to give you guys a brief rundown for those of you guys who do not know, and probably all of you know because you guys are probably all fans of Aaron. He was born December 7th, 1987, and he actually unfortunately died. It was a year ago, November 5th, in Lancaster, California. We're talking about Aaron today. Aaron was a pop star. He was most known probably for I Want Candy. I think that's his, like, I'm not even going to attempt to sing it.
mhm.
Um, but he was also on Dancing with the Stars. He was on Broadway, and he was, more than anything, I think probably his biggest accomplishment was having Prince. And I think that you could see
Definitely.
that very, on all of the pictures that you saw with Aaron and his baby, his boy. He only got to spend about a year, not even a year, with Prince before he passed
No.
away.
Mhm.
And he fought demons. In February of 2011, he actually went to the Betty Ford Clinic to try to get clean, and it worked for a while. In fact, right before Aaron passed away, he did interviews saying that he had been clean for 5 years. And I know, Jennifer, that your sister very much disagrees with that, saying that he was not clean. Interviews saying she had actually tried to help him, sending him text messages of other singers and other people who had passed away from
Mhm.
overdoses. We have to be careful of what we can say.
Yeah.
So, we have to say rug or whatever. And there's a lot of questions regarding what happened to him. I've gotten a lot of DMs, and I know a lot of people here have questions as well. So, I'm going to open it up though real quickly to you, Jen, so you can say kind of what it is, why you wanted me to open
Of course.
this, have this conversation with you. And then I've got a bunch of questions from people. Always encourage comments in the comments. I love open discussion. I do have a bunch of moderators because I will tell you, I have a no drama zone in any of my lives. So we don't put up with drama. So let's get to it. What do you want to say, Jennifer? What do you want to tell us about Aaron, especially with what happened last November?
Oh, oh my gosh. That was probably the worst phone call that I ever received in my life. My sister had sent me a text message. Her phone was about to die, and she said Aaron died, and it was that emoji of crying. And I remember, I was in my room and Max was playing his game, and I like with him to pay attention. I'm like, Aaron passed away. And I was pacing back and forth. And so I called her and she picked up. And the feeling of when losing somebody, the way that they're crying, like the way that they sound, I just knew it was true. And, you know, I know that he had his issues, with the medication and all of that, and losing Prince and all of that. It just doesn't sit well with me. Like, I know Betty was the only person inside of the home when this had happened. And my sister texted her that night asking her, is Aaron okay? Like, I haven't heard from him. And she's like, yeah, he's doing fine. He's just eating. He's about to go to sleep. Um, I don't feel like they investigated well enough. I don't feel like people weren't questioned enough. And like, we just need to find him justice. And one day when Prince gets older, I want to be able to tell him, what happened to his father. And I don't want to give up. And my sister needs it. The fans need it. We all need it. We need justice for him.
Yeah, and diving into this a little bit more, I'll be honest, I remember hearing about his death and thinking right away that it seemed a little bit suspicious. And then when his mom released those photos, first of all, what was your first thought when you saw those photos that Jane released?
I went to his house the day after it happened. I saw the bathroom myself. The top of the stairs, too. It looked like there was a struggle at the top of the stairs because some of the wood was broken. I was in the crime scene the day after it happened. I saw how it was. And I can understand her frustration. I don't know about putting it all over the internet for everybody to see, but the color of that water, because it was still filled up and there was water all over the floor, um, it was really hard to walk into that bathroom.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
really hard.
what was the reason for it still a day later, still looking the way that it was, for 24 hours later? Was there a reason behind that?
I think that nobody just emptied the water, but maybe because they wanted it to be investigated. It was a horrific scene, and there was towels all over the ground. I mean, it was just like out of a body experience being in that bathroom. Um, it was really hard to to see the bathroom. My sister ended up spending the night that night. We went there to go and get the dogs. Zelda was there, and so was Karma, the black fluffy dog. Um, but it was really hard to see it the day after.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot even, I can't even imagine. And there's, so much around around his death. And I think there's so many questions that so many of you guys have sent to me. But this is the one that has been in my head that I can't get out is, hi, Stephanie. The last time that anyone saw or heard or, anything from him was 2 a.m., right? That Friday before when he sent a DM to Sonia Cruz, right? We know that through an Uber. We saw that. That was 2 a.m. Friday. We know that Betty did not see, nobody saw him until 11 a.m. on November 5th.
Hmm.
Is that not weird? Like, why? Where was he? That I mean, is that what are your thoughts on that?
Not only is it weird, but I read online. This is my first time ever even going online, to be honest with you. But they said that he wasn't even identified immediately. Like, what do you mean he wasn't identified? And the fact that my sister was calling her and asking her, please check in on him. My sister texted me that night and asked me, we live in Orange County. He lives in Lancaster. It's about an hour and 45 minutes without traffic. She's like, should I go drive down there? And at that time, it was already midnight. And I'm like, I told her to go, but that was up to her. But I don't know. I don't care how intoxicated you are. He had his necklace on and he had a shirt on.
Right.
Okay. And they I don't go into the bathtub with clothes on. I am. My sister said that that was really out of character for him. I mean, and then when I saw the top of the stairs with the broken part of the stairs, like somebody was struggling, that really, that really like lifted the hair on the back of my neck. Um, but all the way till 11 a.m. And I know Zelda was not in there with him. I believe Zelda was drugged. When I had gotten her the next day, they were outside in the backyard. She had been pepper sprayed from the police.
Wow.
And if you leave pepper spray on a dog for long enough, like you can end up getting blind. She
Mm-hmm.
was wet because it was raining and she was shaking and scared. Zelda is a very protective kind of dog, and we've only left her once for 2 hours, like 6 months ago, and she ripped the door frame off. Okay. Now, if she was in the bathroom with Aaron, she would have tried to pull him out of the water, or she would be barking like
Yeah.
uncontrollably.
Yeah. Yeah. One would think that because I the dogs are so big, that's the type of breed that they are, and all the things. And I probably should have said before we started this live, but I'm sure people probably, yeah, I do. You are lagging quite a bit, Jennifer. I don't know if you have a bad
Oh, am I?
connection. You're lagging really
Oh,
bad. I Is that just you guys? Is
okay.
she
Hold on
lagging for
one.
everyone, or is it just for me? And am I lagging at all? Yes, she is. Okay, you're lagging really bad for everyone. You might need to go out and come back. It's not lagging for Patty. Okay. And I'm okay, Brad? Okay. Now she's completely frozen. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for telling me. Jennifer? Hmm. Maybe she'll go out and come back in. Yeah, she needs to switch to Wi-Fi. Jennifer? Hopefully that's what she's doing. And now, yeah, because now she's completely frozen. Oh, we lost her. So I'm sure she'll be right back in. Okay. Yeah, it was lagging pretty bad, you guys. So hopefully she'll come right back in. If you guys see her before I do, like you did last time, let me know. Um, Thanks, Brad. Do you like this sweater? I keep showing my sweater that says Thanksgiving because it's so cute. I got it from Shein for like $8. He was speaking the truth. Who was speaking the truth? I'm curious. Um, Carol, we are talking about, yes. So JRA Jennifer is Melanie, who was his fiance's sister. We were supposed to have Melanie tonight. But Rocky was his close friend and was muted. Can we please unmute Rocky? Can we please unmute Rocky, mods? We gotta remember we talked about this. Let's give people a little breathing room before we mute. Please unmute Rocky, you guys. Come on. Please and thank you. You guys, I know we've got and if anyone was Aaron's friend, like close friend, and they, okay, Lion, yeah, he was speaking. So yeah. You are a mod, Brat. You're always one of my, yeah, you're a mod. Um yeah, you guys get Rocky to where is if Rocky, oh, he can't comment because he's muted. Yeah, okay. Okay, let me invite you again. if someone knows Rocky, please tell him to come back in. And please do not mute Rocky, you guys. Come on. He must not have been saying anything bad if he's a friend. Um, okay.
All right, can you hear me?
We can hear you. We could hear you the whole time. Thank
I'm
you,
so
Brett.
sorry, guys.
Brett just unmuted him. Okay, thanks, Brett.
So sorry about that, guys. I even like set everything up so that we would be good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's way better. You're not lagging at all. You're not lagging at all.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, you guys. If there are any of Aaron's close friends in here, make yourself known in the comments so we know. Please. Yeah, we could hear you still. Yeah,
3:30.
please make yourself known in the comments, you guys. I know who a lot of my followers are, but we've got 100. The number keeps going up. So I know Cody, obviously. I can tell Panda. I know Panda definitely. So if you guys were a friend or a close follower of Aaron's, please let yourself known. Especially for my mods. Okay, Jennifer. So we were talking about the dogs, right? And how the dogs were protective, and you feel as
Yes.
if, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. And I'm sorry about the lag, guys. I hope that it's better. Just make a
It's
comment if it
it's a
does
lot
start
better.
lag.
It's a
Is
lot
it
better.
better? Okay. Um, Zelda and German Shepherds in general, if some people have them, they're very protective. And Zelda loved Aaron very much. I believe she was not in the bathroom with him. I believe she was drugged. The next day when I went to the house, she was pepper sprayed from police because they obviously needed to come into the house, the coroner, the police, taking pictures, removing the body, all of that. She was maced and she was very groggy and out of it for about 48 hours that I had her until she started kind of snapping out of it. I immediately washed her face and washed her body just in case, it so she wouldn't get hurt. Um, I don't believe for a second that Zelda was in the bathroom with him because she would have been barking and asking for somebody to come and help.
I know that I firmly believe that dogs, yeah, dogs sense things like that, especially if it's their master. I 100% believe that. But as I was saying before, I mean, I think you guys know that we're going to be talking about sensitive things here. I should have probably said trigger warning, but there are going to be sensitive things that we talk about. If that
Yes.
bothers you, please, this probably isn't the best live for you. The other thing I wanted to say was we talked about that the time of death, his last known communication was that 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was also reports that he had rigor mortis set in, right? Which would only happen if he had been passed away for a while.
Yeah. Rigor mortis sets in like way later. Yep.
So
Absolutely.
let's talk about a couple other things. In doing some research about Aaron's past, he said in a lot of his friends. Now, I in particular, let me just make sure I have the friend's right name because I am not good with names. So I want to make sure that I say everybody's names. Morgan Matthews, who worked with him, and Brian Cassidy, who was a really good friends with them, both said that they think that Aaron's death was suspicious. And an actual quote from Brian Cassidy, he said, "quote Aaron was always paranoid. He always, quote, believed that people were after him." Is that true? What can you say about that?
Ugh, I guess it's laggy again. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. Um, Aaron was very on social media a lot. He had a lot of fans. He was very open with his life and how he was feeling. That's something that I loved about him. He didn't. He always spoke his mind. Um, but I know that on a couple of his lives, he, had mentioned that his own family was after him and that he was feeling threatened.
Well, I mean, I think that brings up a good point. If you look at the history of the Carter family, I mean, there's been tragedies throughout. You know, his sister passing away from an overdose, his father dying of a heart attack suddenly. Um, and he did not have a good relationship really with his family. I mean, is it true? I mean, I think that he was starting to come around with his mom, correct?
Yes, he was
Mhm.
coming around with his mom more and more, definitely. And she was trying to start a relationship um, with my sister as well, and Prince. So, I believe through time and, love, you can get through some things. I think there was a lot of resentment of what she had done when he was growing up. Um, but he for sure loved his family so much, I think.
Um, Lion, I want to just say your comment, Lion. He talked to an angel before he passed. I'm so glad he was able to. Oh, Angel, his sister. Is that what you? Okay, I thought she meant an angel in the sky, which maybe that's true.
Maybe.
You know, he could have. Um, yeah. So then there was another quote that he said, "quote There are people after me. I need help. I need to get out of this town." That was something he said. Like, right. So were there people out to get him, or was that just? I mean, do you guys believe that that is kind of feeds into this suspicious death?
I think it definitely didn't help how he was feeling overall. I think what really um, broke him was losing custody of Prince
What
and
happened?
not
What
having
happened there?
the.
I don't mean to interrupt, but what happened with him losing custody of Prince? What happened there?
Um, that's that's a whole other story. That has a lot to do with my stepmom, which I don't agree he should have ever lost custody of his son.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that he relapsed because he lost custody of his son on the huffing. And I think that he would have gotten the help and he would have gotten to rehab if he had his son around him, if he
Yeah.
was able to be a father. I think that Prince would have saved his life and he would have gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said at the beginning. You know, I think that you can tell just by the photos of him online that that is when he looked the happiest, looked almost like the healthiest, but he wasn't because he was so skinny, but he looked the healthiest because he sort of had this glow when he was with Prince. But I wondered that because it said that there was a period of time where Prince was not with your sister, nor was he with Aaron.
Yeah. My stepmom and my dad took full custody at that time. There was a lot of fighting going on. Um, and they were getting CPS and even animal control called on them on the daily. He was getting death threats. People were sending him duster cans in the mail so that he would relapse.
Wow.
So it just,
Yeah, Brett, you're
it,
right. I mean, the autopsy is very interesting because I after reading the autopsy and then reading doing research, and I know he had listen, I can try to pronounce the name, but I'm horrible at it because I just call them whippets because that's what I used to call them growing up. Um, the duster, the sniffer that he was addicted to, but it takes so much of that to get into the state of mind where he was at.
yeah.
And for someone, yeah, I just, yep, that's why I just call it sniffer, difluorothane. I think I'm saying it right. Um, and for someone who was such a heavy user as he was, I mean, I mean, is that kind of part of the reason why you are feeling as if they're like he just did? I mean, I don't want to say I don't want to sound insensitive. I don't want to make it sound like you can't OD from that because you definitely can. But to me, it was interesting to look at his autopsy report, I guess, and to see no other drugs at all in his system. Nothing.
Yeah. Um, I know that he had a text message from a dealer saying that he owed him a couple of $1,000s and he was threatening him. So I know that he was scared about that. I don't know too much about the duster cans, to be completely honest with you. And I know that he probably had a high tolerance to the Xanax because he had multiple different doctors
Yeah.
prescribing it to him, as well as getting it off the street. He had a lot of friends that were around him who would like him to be under the influence so that they could take advantage of him. He was a kind, sweet soul who loved so hard, and he was taken advantage of in so many different ways. And it's just all too much for him. And I don't want to say that the duster can is what it made him do all of that, but I don't think he was alone that night. I think that I honestly believe that somebody else was in that house with him rather than Betty.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I want, lots of things that I have read said that there were, and I want to make sure that I say it correctly. There were two people at the house that night, and nobody knows who these people were, right? The police did not ID them. They were not investigated.
Nope.
Like, and your sister, Betty, nobody knows who these people are. They were just at the house. So what, he just went up and took a bath like when they were there. I just can't. What is your sister saying about that?
I know that he was on a live at Walmart when he went to go buy more duster cans. And there's this one part where he's outside and there's a black male walking with him. She has no idea who that is. I asked her specifically for our interview. I'm like, do you know who these people are? She knew everyone he would talk with. He was very open. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, he very.
And I think there was a struggle at the top of the stairs. He was a very, like, as everyone knows, a friendly person. And I mean, that's how Betty ended up moving in because he's just a kind heart. And I think that they gave him something to make him, out of it. And then they dragged him up the stairs. And I think that they, um, push him under the water while he was wearing his clothes. And then they left. And they took whatever, all the jewelry that went missing.
Oh,
And
I
I
guess I
think
didn't
that's
realize that. Talk to me a little bit about that. What was missing? Items were missing from the home?
absolutely like anything of value, really high value. And I think that Betty knows the people that did it. Like I think that it was all planned out.
Well, it was interesting that Betty just so they had gone away, right? They had gone away with your sister and Aaron had gone away with Prince on a little trip, just the three of them, and their house was broken into. So friends
Yeah.
told Aaron, "You guys need to get Betty as the housekeeper, the woman who found him." They said, "You need to have someone stay in your house to kind of watch it when you're not there, all the things." And so he met this Betty at church, and she was homeless. And she said, or he said, "You can stay at my house. We'll make this arrangement. You stay at my house, you do like housework, all the things, and you don't have to pay. Like you can stay for free."
Hmm.
That's a bizarre situation. I'm sorry. Like, yes, he may have had the biggest heart in the world, but to
Yeah.
invite someone that you saw at church here or there once in a while and you just invite this person off the street to live with you, like that is a kind of a bizarre situation.
And you do know that Betty was an addict, an ex
Yes.
addict.
She was an ex.
So I think she
Yes.
was with him. She's like, hey, when you're feeling all good, I think that she was in on it. Who let them through the front door? Who, you know what I mean? Like, there's too many variables of my sister wasn't there, so it's like the perfect timing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think they slipped him something where he was completely out of it, and I think it was all pre thought of, and unfortunately, he was there at the wrong time around the wrong people who genuinely did not care about him and they were only thinking about themselves and coming up on some diamonds. We can't find Betty. She's in hiding.
That was my next question. Brett, we don't know Betty's last name. I can't find it anywhere. And she's been MIA since this happened. Like, I don't even
Yep.
think that he went to his funeral or his memorial. Like, I think The research that I have found has been literally she went to the police, told the police what happened, and then it was like gone. Is her last name Williams? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about Betty except that she is from, I think she's Nigerian or something. She's from Ghana, maybe. And yeah, she moved in 3 weeks before he died, and she was homeless. She was homeless.
Like, oh,
So,
how ironic, that she moves in 3 weeks prior to this all happening. And she seemed really sweet on the videos. I know that she was very religious, but my
yes.
sister told me like they were like having alone time, and she was literally standing outside of their bedroom door, like saying prayers out loud, like really loudly, like almost like doing a saint kind of thing. It's strange. It
You
doesn't
can hear
sit
me?
well with.
Hi, Rocky. We can hear you. I apologize for the mute beforehand. I apologize for that. We're being overcautious, so I apologize for that. Rocky, tell
Okay.
me, tell us, tell
I
us who
didn't say
you
any
know
bad
about.
words.
I
Oh,
apologize.
I'm somebody who I was on the IG lives with him. I made music with him. Um, I wrote music with him. I used
Oh,
to talk to him all the time, and then one day he just like kind of like what's that word? He like kind of switched up on everybody like weeks before he died. But I talked to him on Halloween though. It was the last time I talked to him. I FaceTimed him
Wow.
from Universal Studios.
So, Rocky, when you say he sort of switched up,
Bro.
what do you mean by that? Could you hear me, Rocky?
Oh, like whenever he yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, whenever he started hanging out with that one guy, what's his name? Louis. Like when he went back to them, like on the middle of the tour, he switched up.
He just started acting different.
yeah.
Yeah, because he was
Which,
FaceTiming me when because I was on the road too, and then he like quit hit.
wow. So you talked to him literally like 5 days before he passed away. What was his like mental
I
state?
believe it was 3 days before.
Yeah, yes, that's what we were just talking about too. I think that the date is wrong as well. What do you think happened, Rocky?
I definitely think he died because like when I was going live after he passed, like they sent over all these videos, all the timestamps when he was live on TikTok and stuff like that. And there's it's like a 36 or 38 hour open window because he went a whole day without talking to anybody.
Yep. Yep.
And
What
it's
do you,
kind of like him. He always was on live. You know what I mean? Like his fans were like his family. He was very open.
what do you think happened though? Like, I mean, do you think that Betty had something to do with it? Do you think it's because he owed people money? I mean, I agree with that, Panda. I think we were all kind of saying the same thing for sure. I mean, what do you think the
Um,
reason is, Rocky?
I think it's a little deeper than all that than owing people money. Like
I don't know whose microphone that is, but sorry.
I feel I, f- I feel as it was definitely an inside job. Like people like it was it was multiple people, and it probably was an accident, but it took a lot of participation to pull off what they pulled off.
Yes.
You think he was drowned then on purpose as well? Like they gave him something that wasn't traceable, or he did do enough of the sniffers and was out of it, but they drown him anyways?
Yeah, I think I don't think he made it. I don't think he was alive when he got home. I think because remember they found his cigarettes and his iPhone in the floorboard of the car
Oh,
the
that's
next day.
true.
Oh wow. So
So they
that
made. seem like he drowned in the bathtub.
From that Walmart trip is what you're talking about, where he was seen
Yeah,
with the black man that nobody knows who that guy was.
yeah,
No,
exactly.
And Rocky, you didn't know who that guy was either, and you were a good friend of Aaron's. You had no idea who that
Well,
guy was either.
I was pretty active. Yeah, I've never seen him before, and I never seen him before.
And neither had Melanie, Jennifer, you said, right?
no, she had no idea who that was.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
Because when was the
Yeah,
last time Melanie physically saw Aaron? Do you know?
When was the last time?
yeah.
I believe it was probably 30 hours prior to when he passed away.
So, but we're like on the fifth or on the fourth? On the fifth or on the fourth? What does Melanie think, that he died on the fifth or the fourth?
She believes that he died on the she believes he died on the 4th, but the police said that he died on the 5th. But rigor
Right.
mortis and the color of the water doesn't turn that color unless your body has been there for a while. And I know the jets were still going too. Um, it's just, and I was in the house and it was so eerie and it felt so weird and it was so emotional. I didn't sleep for 36 hours after I found out. It was like the hardest thing that we've ever gone through. But walking through that home, it just something didn't feel right. Like, when you get that gut feeling, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something bad went on here.
Yeah.
And everybody has different beliefs, but I am a Christian, and I believe in my heart and in my gut that somebody did this to him.
Someone asked a good question. So you said the jets were on, which, yes, you can put jets on timer, which is absolutely, but was the water ice cold?
The water was cold, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. So Rocky, I'm sure you heard me say that he said numerous times that he felt as if someone was after him. There's people after me. In fact, he sent out a text right before he died for that $800 that he still owed. Did he talk to you about that at all? And if so, who did he tell you who he felt was after him?
He didn't name any names that like he's never named publicly. When it came to stuff like that. But his brother was definitely somebody that was somebody that worried him.
Nick?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna.
because
I
because
didn't know
because don't you guys remember the day after we got the notification that he passed?
what happened. Tell us.
We got a notification that Nick was getting a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. And I
And
had
that's all
read.
I needed to know.
How would you describe their relationship, Jennifer or Rocky, which either one of you both can answer? How would you describe their relationship?
With my sister or with his family?
His Nick and Aaron.
I believe that Nick loved his brother and always will love his brother, but my sister reached out to him several times begging for them to help her get him into rehab, and they wouldn't respond back. And it was a lot of it was a lot on her shoulders. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people were saying like you're not helping him. She never enabled him. She always wanted him to get better, but he definitely had not the greatest relationship with his brother. But I will say this: Betty told my sister that that Aaron told Betty, "I'm going to my room, whatever. Uh, don't let anybody in the house, but you can let my brother Nick in the house if he comes," which was weird, but she did tell me that. Um, Maybe he was hoping that he that his brother would come and save him in some kind of way, or kind of, reappear in his life and just kind of put him on the straight and narrow.
Yep. Yep. Rocky, and I've seen a couple of people comment wondering where Melanie is. Yes, Melanie was supposed to be interviewed. At the last minute, she got nervous and realized that, if she says one wrong thing, they're in the middle of a civil lawsuit. I'm sure you guys know that. It's all over the media. So she got nervous and decided at the last minute that she didn't feel comfortable joining this interview.
Yeah.
They are in the middle of a civil lawsuit. Rocky, what did Aaron ever talk to you about his relationship with his family?
With his family, he loved his mom. I used to talk to his mom on the phone with him. He put me on three-way with him.
Anything about his brother or his twin sister?
Um, he never really spoke much on like his twin sister. He just talked about like he loved her and stuff, but he always talked about Nick. He always had something to say about Nick.
Good, bad, indifferent? A
Yeah,
little bit.
the good, the bad, and the ugly with Nick.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I had read that their relationship was extremely contentious, and a lot of people do. And I'm not blaming Nick, but there are a lot of people who you know, question things. But I will tell you, I questioned when I saw that that his twin, his twin Angel, like took control. It seemed like she kind of was the one who took control of his memorial, like the trust, all the things. And it's not his mom.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not married, so that makes sense. But that was a little interesting to me.
What upset me, and I know that one of his wishes, when you're thinking about, passing away, either being cremated or buried, he always told my sister, like, I always want to be buried. Do not cremate me. And he got
Oh,
cremated within a couple of days of his passing. So I thought that was pretty messed up. Like, I was pretty disappointed in that, because you should have a say with how you want to go. So I was upset about that part, definitely, because I feel like we should always respect someone's wishes of, how they would like to
yeah,
be indulged. So
of course, of course. Um, so I think one of the, looking into this and whatnot, it sounded as if he was trying to make a little bit of a comeback too with his music. Like they actually released his sixth album right after he had died. Was that something that you had noticed, Jennifer or Rocky, that he actually was starting to maybe get back into the music a little bit, I saw some videos of him actually playing the piano. Um, was that all something that you guys saw him getting back into the music world? Because he had all these new songs that were released once he died. Yeah, and he was starting a TV show. Yep.
the
Yeah,
T
I was on that album that came out. Like I even got screenshots of like them putting that album available up for upload back in October, like before he passed. And
Mm.
like even the last couple lives that I went with him, we talked about it because like we had a song together on there, and like so that's why it was crazy because that's what made it even more crazier, was there was a whole tape coming out.
Yeah, and go ahead, Jennifer. It sounds like you want to say something.
Oh, I'm sorry. He always wanted to do better for Prince, and he wanted more kids. They were about to move. He put the house up for sale, I think, a month prior to him passing away. He was like dedicated. He's like, I'm a dad. Like, his full time, dream was to be a father, and he wanted more kids. They were looking at homes. I got text messages from my sister. What do you think about this house and this house? They found one, and they were ready. They were ready to go. move somewhere where people don't know where they lived, because a lot of the fans and people knew where he was, which I thought was pretty dangerous. And go and have some more kids. And he was excited about his music. My sister said that he was playing the piano more often, and he was writing music more often. Like, he had more of this drive.
Oh,
That's why.
You're Melanie's sister.
Yes,
Oh wow, yeah. How you doing? I didn't know that.
I'm good. I'm just frustrated with all of it, and he was. It's like he wanted his son back. He wanted to move. He was starting that new show, and I felt like he was getting there. You know what I mean? He was getting there, and I think that he would have done just fine. Um, and it's just so sad. And it's going to be hard watching Prince grow up. And of course, I'm going to tell him how awesome his dad was and let him listen to his music, and maybe he'll be into music one day. You never know. But he had too many good things going for him to just end his life, like they said, or he drowned.
Right. So I mean, it's not a secret that your sister and Aaron, contentious relationship. Were they together or not? Were they? I had read that they were in a very bad spot when he actually passed away.
Yeah. They they always. That's one thing I didn't like, how like he kept their relationship so much on the internet. Like, I felt like he should have just not filmed that part of it. And every relationship has ups and downs. As far as being together, I know that it was a little rocky, but they were still in contact. They were still in communication.
Hmm. Well, they had a son together, so they had to, right?
Yeah. And so,
Um, so I said that I was going to try to keep this to an hour. It's 10 to 9, so we've kept it to almost an hour. Some of the other things well, first of all, I'm going to start taking some questions. I don't know if there is any of my subscribers here who wants to come up in the box. Please hit the guests, and you guys can come up in the box. How many kids did he have, Penny? He just had one kid. He just had one kid, one boy. Um,
And a daughter.
he had a daughter.
That's what people say.
and they
Well,
also he had a son in Amsterdam that was 16 years old, and he never met him, but it's not true, unfortunately.
I never heard the son one. I've heard the daughter though.
Oh, really?
hit
Yeah.
that guests if you guys want to come up and ask a question. Hi, Nick.
Hey, let me go grab my notebooks. I have a very important question. Hi, Jen. Hey, Rocky.
Okay, while you're doing that, let me ask the question one of the questions that I got beforehand, because I got a bunch of them. What is one of the factors that you can share with us that is making you drive to seek justice, to be fighting for this? What's one of the factors?
Closure. And for myself, all his fans, his family, and for my sister and Prince, like, every time I see my sister, it's like part of her is just not there. Hey, sorry about that. And it's just basically trying to find closure for family and friends. You know what I mean? Usually when somebody passes, you go to a funeral, you cry, you talk about them, and I just feel like none of us have had the closure that, and he needs justice for him. He was an amazing person, and he affected and changed so many people's lives. Like, he was there emotionally, and he was just a legend. And I just feel like he deserves more. And I won't stop until we get some kind of closure.
Nick, are you ready to ask a question?
I am ready to go. Okay, so Jen, I had a question more. I guess maybe you could answer this, hopefully. So on November 2nd, so it was very, very close. I was just wondering what you knew about the incident with him driving the RV and her driving her car behind him, her calling the police, and when I say her, sorry, Melanie. I apologize for that. Melanie, saying that it was about like 10:45 a.m. on that morning, and she had apparently called the police saying that he was majorly intoxicated, and so but basically wdeputies showed up at a specific address, did a full search, and tests were performed, 10 to be exact, 10 different sobriety tests, and it showed absolutely zero indications of him being intoxicated, impaired, or anything. After this, he gets on live and he confirms that he is single and wants to be left alone. Do you know anything about that? Because the timelining, I was just kind of curious how that played out, because that was a little strange. Like,
Yeah.
why she would say that, I don't know.
And
Respectfully.
yeah. As in all of his fans that have watched him live, he was very public with their fighting and the ups and downs, and he was very open to all of that. I will have to say that there was a fight that went on, but I cannot go into detail just in respect of my sister.
He was
Yeah.
very about everything, that's for sure. Evil snuggly.
Totally fair. Okay, maybe I'll hop down, and because I think I
Well,
know.
I'm only letting subscribers up. That's what I said. Like, because I have to do something for my subscribers because I haven't done anything, unlike you, Brett, who's done like a million things for your subscribers. So, all right, thanks, Nick. I'm going to ask you another question that I got from one of my subscribers. I don't think she wants to come up, but maybe she does. From photos of the scene, Nick, you can jump down now, or you can say obviously. From photos of the scene, and this is such a good question because I looked at them too. Did they handle it at all like it could have been a crime scene at all?
No, absolutely not. I don't think so at all.
Yeah,
I know, of course, they took pictures and videos, but they weren't there that long. I mean, we were able to go in just the next day. Usually, when it's like a crime scene, they have anybody and everybody taking videos and
pictures. They would take pictures, right? They would take
samples.
pictures. Yeah, samples, all the things. Yeah.
Yeah. He had home insurance with me at the time, Aaron did. And when we started the claim, I felt like the people going to test, the floor and, if it needs to be removed, I felt like they were more detailed than the own police.
Yeah, that's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
were there any let me see. Rocky, would you mind muting until we ask? I'm sorry, there's like so much background noise. I don't know where you are, Rocky, but we're picking up a lot of background noise from you. Thank you so much. Katie wants to know, what do you feel about Stella Rose, who wrote the book blaming Melanie, War of Angels?
I have not read the book. I feel like there's a lot of hate towards my sister, unfortunately. And I try to stay off the internet as much as possible. If you see my TikTok, it's mainly just of my dogs. I will forever stand behind my sister and Prince, and I've always been a protective sister already, but it's really sad and hurtful what people will do as far as bullying and hateful, rude comments. It hurts people. Like, people need to be a lot more careful with their words. And I'm always going to forever be protective of my sister. I try not to read into people's comments or concerns and hate towards my sister and Prince. Like, leave her alone. She just lost her fiance, and now she, has Prince and has to be a strong mother. So I try to block and ignore any bullying or nastiness towards my.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I get it. Sister Sledge, why do you think the police didn't investigate it as something more?
too much paperwork. They're lazy. I honestly believe, unfortunately, because they were just lazy. And it's sad because when the police used to be called to his home, he knew them all by their first name because they were there so often. So
Right.
it's like,
Right.
wait, so you're going to go to the celebrity's house that was really always kind to you, always very nice, answered all your questions, and I felt like they just brushed it under the rug and moved on.
Yeah, I mean, we hear of that happening so often, particularly with people who've had a substance abuse, right? They go in, they probably saw all of the cans of, the computer screen cleaner or whatever it was, and just said, okay, well, this is what it is, and we're going to call it as we see it, and we're not going to, investigate anything else. And that is not an uncommon thing to do. That is, I struggle with that a lot. It's something that I'm very vocal about. You've seen me talk about it in, the Sean Doherty case. You guys have seen, all you got to do is go watch that video. And police, I think sometimes see something and they're like, oh, we don't need to investigate it anymore because it's very black and white, when sometimes it's not. It's gray in the middle. Very much so. Compressed air. Yeah, that's a much better way for me to say it. Let me see. There's a lot. Was she able to get treatment and continued care for postpartum depression after having Prince?
Um, I think that's like a really personal question
Yeah.
as like all of that's concerned. She is going and will always do whatever's best for Prince and herself. And I am so proud of her, stepping up and still keeping the business going. I'm, you know, I'm really impressed with how well she's doing. And I check on her on a daily basis, and I will continue to do that and be there and be strong for Prince and Zelda, and we check in on, the family and friends. I know that Nick wants to get closer with Prince, so that'll be pretty cool that he'll be able to grow up knowing Aaron's son. And yeah.
Another question really quick is, and you just sort of mentioned it, the business. The Love brand, is that something they started together? Talk to us a little bit about that, about the brand that she is trying to keep going. No worries, Savannah, don't worry.
Um, I know that he had originally started it, and then after a while, he's like, "I'm gonna give it to her." He knew how much my sister loves makeup. Like she loves doing makeup. She's been doing that since she was like 11.
Mhm.
So he saw what a passion she had for it, and he's like, "Well, why not? I'll do my music, and you can do this." So it's blossomed into a beautiful thing. A lot of people love, the clothes are comfy, the makeup's awesome, and I'm just so proud of her. But he definitely did give that to her on one of his, lives, and he was very passionate about it, and he was very excited about it. Giving
Tell
it.
us a little bit more about Love, where people can find it, price range, what it's all about. You said makeup, comfy clothes. What else can they? What
I
else?
know she did makeup, eyelashes, primer. Her mascara is amazing. I don't have that on now. She started doing like leggings, comfy outfits, and it's amazing. It's super comfy. I like the makeup. And I know that she's making, dog jackets for all of the animals out there, dog lovers. And I'm excited to see where she goes with it and how she expands it. And, she loves everyone. And for everyone that has been there for us, I appreciate it too. It's been such a hard time, but I wanted to thank everybody for, always checking in on me and checking in on her. It means the world. And I appreciate you coming on this live so much.
Yeah, I
It
mean, well, I appreciate it. Someone just said, where can we get the Love? Is there a website that you can share really quick where they can get the Love?
I believe it's Aaron.love. Or what is it? I asked my sister to tag it so that I could put it on my site. So I do apologize. I'm sure everybody, AaronCarter.love. Yeah.
AaronCarter.love. Thank you,
It's,
Katie.
he
Um,
does specials all the time. Um, and I always recommend like the sweaters, just let it air dry. so it doesn't shrink, but it's amazing. I'm really proud of how far she's come.
I love it. All right. I said I was going to keep it to an hour. Rocky, I'll start with you. Is there any, well, let me just sum it up with this. There was a reason that you wanted to have this conversation. What do you want to get out? What do you want to happen? Where do you want this to go?
Um, I know that he has a lot of fans, and they're like his family. I started a petition online, and I have a couple hundred signatures. If I can, I want everybody to join me and getting this investigation opened back up so that we can find Aaron justice. It doesn't sit well with me. My gut feeling tells me something else, and I'm not okay with just sweeping it under the rug.
Are you working with anyone? Are you working with any private investigators? Anyone to help you with that?
We know a few that we have been speaking with. That's why I had reached out to you. Tracy was like, "This, she is amazing." Like,
Oh, thank you.
I mean, if I could just talk with as many people as I can, um, and bring more, awareness to it, then we can all work together and hopefully find some answers.
Yeah, and I do think that someone said the investigate. Listen, if we could get I mean, I do agree it needs to be looked at. Um, it needs to be re-looked at again. It wasn't looked at. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. And if there is anybody watching this now or when we share it later, we do need to find Betty. Thank you. That is true. I do not like drama, Patty. We do need to find Betty. I think that would be a very awesome first step to find Betty. But if there is anyone who is seeing this and can help in any way, that would be very appreciated, obviously. We don't know if Betty's in Africa. Nobody knows where she went. And so you can DM me, you can DM Life of Bella and Zelda, you can DM Melanie Martin. We just need, you guys are so sweet. We need to get the story out.
Yeah.
Rocky, what about you? Anything else? Now that you've said that, Jennifer. Rocky,
You can hear me now?
yes. What about you? Anything? Let's get your last minute thoughts about this, about Aaron, about the case.
I definitely feel like there needs to be way more further investigation. I feel like a lot of people lie. I've heard that Melanie held back the phone from the police, so the police never saw the phone, and Melanie took it the whole time. And then at the end of the day, there was still a cell phone found in the floorboard of the car that he was in the night he left Walmart. And I'm a firm believer that maybe even Melanie might have been there at the house that night. I feel like a lot of people might have been there. Actually, I feel like it could have been more than 5 people, because I definitely feel like he was picked up and brought upstairs and placed in his bathtub, because it was probably something that he did whenever he fell off. And so people try to resort to something they've seen him do before. I feel like a lot of people are lying, and they don't. And then at the end of the day, a lot of people don't even care. There's like if there's no money in it for them, then they're not interested. And then the weird thing, the fact that Nick had that incident happen within 24 hours of him passing was even stranger to me. And so then it makes me question everything and everybody, like anybody that has anything to do with him, especially anybody who was there within the past couple weeks, because everything was suspect leading all the way back to the No Jumper interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, and there's a real paper trail, hypothetically speaking, and you can pull it up yourself and see the receipts on the Instagram lives that are on YouTube, and his own, and just the own content in general that's been passed around. Like, a lot of people definitely have stamped the timeline out. Like, it doesn't take the sharpest pencil in the pencil box to make that shake. So
Rocky, really quickly, one of my favorites, Sarah, did ask once a question. Is she just really quickly, if you could explain what happened with Nick the day after? I know you already explained it, but I don't know if Sarah was here, and I love Sarah. So could you really quickly explain what took place with Nick the day after?
Within 24 hours, they released an article about a recent lawsuit on a topic that Aaron spoke of highly, and about him, and he never let that go. And then within 24 hours, he got hit with a lawsuit for that, where he's getting sued for it. And so it's
Mhm.
kind of like,
Fishy.
in a way, he would have been the only person that could have spoke on that incident because he was the only one there. So like whenever you look at it from different angles, it just brings up like different ideology. And so all you can do is just appreciate the facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Fishy, fishy, fishy. All right, Jennifer, anything last minute that you want to say?
Um, I just appreciate everybody that, watched this live. And I appreciate all the followers and all the love. I appreciate you taking your time out to speak with me. And let's just keep going. And I believe if we work together, I believe that we can all, make it happen. I really do.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks, Jennifer, so much. I understand why your sister couldn't hear. I do wish she would have been here. My live is always open. I love interviewing people, you guys. So, if anybody else, has an interview, I'm always looking for interviews. So, but yeah, my door is always open. If something comes up again, if you want to talk, if your sister wants to talk, my live is always open. I do think that there needs to be justice for Aaron. I think that his death is extremely suspicious. I think things were rushed, and they needed to be done a lot quicker. So there's all these people now that want to come into the live at the end, but you guys, I promised them an hour, and I can't let these guys are probably exhausted. So
Hey, I made a song called "Air Conditioning." It's like AC for Aaron Carter, and it
mm,
and it speaks on everything. Where like I spoke about it, and I I still keep the questions alive.
so
And
go follow Rocky, go follow Life of Bella and Zelda, follow me, and please. And you guys, I appreciate you coming on. And thanks to everybody in the comments. Thank you guys for being, nice to one another. I think I didn't see any really much drama. And everybody have a wonderful holiday this upcoming week.
I appreciate you for having me on after you muted me.
Sorry about the mute.
But
Okay,
it
guys.
still doesn't let me show my face though.
It's
Uh,
weird. You gotta hit your camera. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
thank
Love you all.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.